Let's get to my favorite principle, the lookalike principle. I guess this is rather self-explaining. You need to understand that besides the line you are taking, the action that is happening in the pot, the only information to influence villain's range are the two cards you're having. So it's very important to make use of that. Did you ever wonder why people are always folding when you have it, and they somehow seem to always be calling when you're bluffing? Well, maybe you didn't make use of the lookalike principle so far, and just your two cards changed villain's range in a way that, well, when you have it, he ends up having air, and when you have air, he has the value hands. We can use the lookalike principle to talk about big bluffs and bluff catches on the river. Yes, this is where blockers matter the most. But here actually, I want to talk about how it can help you to build cornerstones in your range. And I want to give you a couple of examples for that. Let's say we are in the small blind and we open raise pocket fives. The flop is king 10-5, which we can easily follow up with a small range bet. The turn now is a deuce. So we have king 10-5 deuce, it's rainbow. We have a set which is pretty much the freaking nuts. How would you play that? Well, most people just keep betting, which means their checking range is rather weak. While, hey, wouldn't it make sense to play your fives in the same way like you play your 5x? So all of a sudden by doing that, you create new options. You can check now and then check raise. And well, you can have an idea what your other check raises might look like already as well. Or it goes check check, and on the river you can reevaluate. How would you play your 5? Probably this is the way you should play your set of fives as well. Same example. King 10-5. Let's have pocket aces this time. Pretty much the same decision on the turn. Sure, we can keep betting. We can value bet against any king. But hey, our hand looks pretty much like ace high as well. So why not checking that and keeping aces in the same range like our ace highs? Maybe even taking the dice principle we've just learned about into account and say our aces want to get the maximum value out of villain's king. Isn't a king betting itself? So why putting the money in there? So you see there are plenty of options to make use of that. And I'll give you some more examples. Right? So let's talk about a bluff. Obvious, I have to talk about flushes here. So if something looks like the nut flush, we should play it like a nut flush in a way. If something looks like a medium flush, well, probably we should play it like we would play a medium flush as well. One more example about a spot that is not necessarily having the nuts or representing the nuts. Let's say we defend the big blind and the flop is 10-7-3. All hearts. Villain c-bets, we call. Turn is the king of hearts. 4 cards of the same suit on the board. And, well, now it goes check check. And the river is an offsuit deuce, just a full brick. Think about what is the difference between a hand like 7-8 offsuit with the 8 of hearts having an 8 high flush and pocket 8s with the 8 of hearts, the exact same value hand in a way. Well, it's only the second card that can tell you something. And this is where the lookalike principle comes into play. I prefer to check my 7-8 with the 8 of hearts if I think about checking, because this is the way how I play my 7x, hoping to get to a cheap showdown there. If I have pocket eights, well, what's up with all my 8x? Jack 8, 9 8, 8 6, all busted straight draws. So I want to bluff them. So probably pocket eights are the way better value bet. To summarize things, the lookalike principle can help you a little to decide in which ranges your hand belongs. It tells you right away which hands they can go with. I made a lot of examples where you see, okay, I put sets in the same range like my mid pairs. I put value bets that contain the cards that my bluffing range has in the betting range, and the ones that contain the checking hands, I put those in the checking range too. So check that out when working with it and make up your own mind to understand better how to structure your range, how to memorize it better, how to get to those cornerstones that we need to remember in game.